first thing you always got to realize, especially if you starting off, you got to know the basics. When you get down to basics, people don't tell you that once you actually learn the basics, you still are probably gonna struggle because you will get the basics, but you don't really have a system, right? So that's the part that I struggle with after I learned the basics and what I'm doing. I had to actually learn a system, right? So you have to find out how you want to trade, whether you like to trade ranges or you like to trade momentum or breakout plays. Um, you like to do rejections, you do bounces. This is the thing, right? So you don't have to trade the way that everybody else trades. You can find one or two things that you really, really like or that you're really good at, and you only trade those two types of things or one type of thing, right? So for me, I'm more so of a momentum trader. So I like to do things that are going to give me a move relatively quickly, right? So I wouldn't mind doing long term swings and stuff like that, but I like things that are going to have some momentum. I don't really want to wait a super, super long time unless something has had a very significant dip. Then I don't mind waiting. All right. But the setups that I use are mainly for things that are going to have a chance to move and move relatively quickly, especially when I'm day trading. All right. So my system for day trading, I want to trade things that have momentum. So what things give you momentum? You have to understand that chart patterns will give you things that can have momentum, right? So things such as flags and triangle patterns can be continuation patterns, especially flags, all right? So one stock that has it's two stocks I'm gonna talk to you about today. One of them that I'm looking for towards the downside possibly, and then another one towards the upside. All right. So the stock that I'm looking at towards the downside, which if you're looking at it on YouTube, you'll be able to see it as well. That is Tesla. So if you pull up Tesla and you look at it on the 4 hour or even the 1 hour, you will see that Tesla has this type of triangle pattern, right? So a triangle pattern, what is a triangle pattern really? Yes, it makes a triangle, but you have to understand what it really is. A triangle pattern is a neutral pattern that basically tells you that the bulls and bears are at an indecision point, right? So they aren't agreeing on what the price should be. When you have a triangle, you have a top trend line that is acting as a resistance, and you have a bottom trend line that is acting as a support, right? So triangle patterns are usually neutral, right? So you have to think of them and think about playing them in the direction from which they came from. So in this instance, Tesla has been coming down. We all know Tesla has been going down, right? So I'm more so looking for Tesla towards the downside. So once I get a pattern, I then want to find my levels, okay? So I have the pattern that tells me that, okay, if this is a bearish pennant, I know that it can go either way, but I'm looking for it to be bearish because that's the direction for which it can. Cool. Now I need to find out at what point can Tesla really start falling, okay? So if you're following along on your own here, or if you're looking at it on YouTube, Tesla has a level right here that is actually already under at 232. Okay, that was a point that Tesla kind of bounced at. So right now Tesla's at 229.25. Okay, so my thought process right now on Tesla is we can either keep falling, or we can come back up and retest 232.85. All right. So I use two types of entries. I only use two. I've been trading for 6 years, and for 4.5 years, I really was only using one method of entry. But the past year and a half, I've started using a break and retest. All right. But I also still use, patterns for entry. But Tesla can either one or two things: break and retest this 232.85, or it can continue down, and it has a level down at 214, right? So you have to break 220, but you do have that bottom level down there at 214, all right? So you got to ask yourself, from 232.85 to 220, is that enough room for you to make money on Tesla? All right? So $12, of course it is, okay? So now 220 to that 214 Is that enough room for you to make money? Of course it is. Okay, so you need space between your levels to be able to trade. That lets you know how far you can expect something to go. All right, and that is super important when you're day trading, because you don't want to be trading something that can only go up 10 cent, 15 cent before it starts to come back down, or before it starts to pop in this instance. All right, so it's important to understand levels. All right, and you guys let me know if this makes a little bit of sense. If you follow along on YouTube, I appreciate that. Let me know if this makes a little bit of sense, or if it doesn't make sense, let me know so I can try to explain it. All right, so once you first have to identify the bias. Okay, so the bias for Tesla is bearish. All right, is there a pattern, or are there levels? Yes, there's a pattern here, the bearish pennant pattern, and we know that we had a level at 230.285. Where's the next place it could possibly fall? We could possibly come down to 220. Under that, you can possibly come down to 214. All right, so you have plenty of space to make money on puts. The only thing here is how volatile the market has been, right? So you do have a chance to get chopped up, especially with the Fed decision tomorrow, right? So that's something that you have to watch out for. So you maybe don't want to size nearly as heavy today. I know I will not be sizing heavy today at all. But that's something to really look out for, right? So Tesla, once again, if you're just joining, watching Tesla to the downside, looking for Tesla because they have a bearish pennant pattern. They have a level at this 232 that they're under right now. So my game plan for Tesla is to take the break and retest of 232 if it fails, or we could possibly look for Tesla on a continuation. All right, so what could that continuation look like? We have the pattern on a larger time frame. So on a smaller time frame, you will see those same type of movement, right? So you have to understand that when you are day trading, when you see those huge moves up or huge moves down, understand that these are happening because of things that's going on a 4-hour or a daily chart. All right, so I don't know how many of you seen my watch list, but I talked about AMD, right? I said AMD can push up to this 106, 107 area, and we got there yesterday pretty much, right? So AMD kind of just took off. And if you aren't aware of those larger time frames, it'll look like it just did it for no reason. But if you are looking at it from a larger time frame view, you know that AMD made that kind of move because it broke levels on a larger time frame. Okay, so that is super key to understand. So Tesla is one that I'm watching to the downside. As far as upside, I gotta look and see where it's at this morning. I am looking at Alibaba. All right, so on the daily chart, it is always important for you to be able to understand that all you're doing when you're charting is you're using past data to determine what is likely to happen in the future, or you're using past data to determine where a stock is likely to go next. All right, I repeat that. When you're charting, you're using past data to determine what is more likely to happen in the future, or you will be using the past data to determine where a stock is likely to go next. All right, following along on YouTube, make sure that you just give this video a like and share this with one person. That's all I ask. Okay, Alibaba has a gap on the daily chart from 148 all the way up to 161. Okay, so when you're looking at this, you're thinking, okay, I need space. You need space to run when you're trying to trade options, right? You need to know if something is likely to go up or down, because we're betting on calls or puts. You bet on calls when you think it's going to go up, and puts when you think it's going to go down. So we need a bias to have a direction, right? So if you look at Alibaba almost pretty much just put in a bullish engulfing on the daily chart almost, right? So it almost put in a bullish engulfing on the daily chart, right? So that is a super bullish signal, all right? So that's one. Number two, we have a gap right above it from 148 to 161. That's two things, okay? Number three, if you look at the volume for yesterday, you have high volume on that daily chart from yesterday. So that tells you a lot of people are trading this, all right? That's 3 to 4 things that tell me, okay, maybe this is more likely to go up, all right? And then again, the only thing that you would be weary about is we know how volatile the market has been. So could this reject? It possibly could, but the possibility and the probability is there that this could be a really nice play to the upside. All right. So if Baba gets above 148.5, and I gotta see where did it get to in pre-market. So in pre-market, Alibaba got up to 148. 148.75 is where it got up to in pre-market, right? So now I would probably adjust it just a little bit, and I would be looking for the move above 148.75. But you may ask, okay, how do you get in? Well, you have to use your methods of entry, okay? And you may have different ones than I do, and that's perfectly fine. I have two methods of entry. I use chart patterns, and I use the break and retest, okay? So if Alibaba was to just blast past 148.75, I would be looking for a pullback, right? So I'd be looking for a pullback, maybe to form some type of flag pattern or something of that nature, right? And if it does push up above 148.75 and come back down, you then would look for the break and retest. Now, you never, ever, ever buy anything just because it hits a certain number, right? I'm all about probability. I'm all about confirmation, right? So for me, what would confirmation be? Confirmation would be this break and retest when it comes back down to this 148.75. I would like to see things such as bullish hammers, bullish engulfings on the 1 minute or the 5 minute, whatever I decide to trade it on. Okay. Always look for confirmation. Don't buy just because it hits a number. I lost so much money. I've lost so much money doing that. So everything that I'm telling y'all, I'm talking to y'all, but it's like I'm talking to my younger self, because I made every mistake you can think of in trading. Like, I done blew all kind of accounts when I was trying to learn this. Like, bro, I'm telling you, just listen to what I'm saying and apply it. All right. You don't have to trade the exact same way that I do, but I guarantee you the basics is what you're going to use. And that's what I specialize in. I am really good at using the basics, right? So I use trend lines, chart patterns, levels, candlesticks, those basic things like that. Like, that's what I use. And no matter what strategy you choose, you're gonna have to understand those types of things. It's all about how you can put it together to make sense for you. The way that I trade might not make sense for you, but it makes sense for me, and that's what matters. All right. So I'm just kind of go through here. If you kind of just joining, we went over Tesla. I was looking at an upside play and a possible downside play. So Tesla is my possible downside play, and then Baba is my possible upside play that I'm watching today. Let's see. So I'm gonna kind of just go through here and look at some stocks and see if there's anything else. SPY. I don't know if you guys seen the watch list, but I was like, SPY could get up to this 570 and possibly reject. Unfortunately, yesterday when SPY hit 570, I was not looking at it, right? So I missed that 570 area rejection on SPY yesterday. And you see now it's at 564. So, it's you got to understand levels, and also the 200 MA was up there as well, which can act as a resistance. So that's SPY, but SPY right now is kind of back in no man's land at 564. You have to get some momentum back to the upside. Now, if SPY can get above 570 today, you might get a little push going into FOMC. I'm not gonna lie. Let's see. Palantir is at $85. Let's see. That doesn't look too great to me though. Nvidia was another one I was looking for rejection. If Nvidia continues down, that could possibly be a day trade, but we'll see. Apple is in a bear flag, right? So I see you did say that bear flag on Apple forming. Yep, Apple did form a bear flag, right? So with this bear flag on Apple, if you're on YouTube, I'm gonna clear it off right now. Apple is one of the only stocks where, I'm not gonna lie, you can you can turn a little bit into a lot with Apple. Apple is one of the only stocks whose premiums aren't just crazy right now. Almost everything premiums are crazy, simply because the market has been so volatile, right? So when the market is super volatile like this, you'll notice that the price of the options are going to spike more and more. All right. So if you've been trading, for me, I've been trading since 2019. But if you've been trading before that point, or even any time from 2019 to now, you know that the prices of options, they fluctuate, right? So sometimes they're expensive, sometimes they're cheaper. And the reason for that is the volatility. When the VIX starts to get above 20, 21, you know, the contract's going to be more expensive because the moves are going to be bigger. All right, we're talking about we having days on spot that we can go up $10 or down $10 like it's nothing. All right, that's not really that normal. So be aware of that. But yeah, Apple has a very nice bear flag on it. So Apple could be something that was kind of on side watch. Cause we have to break back under 210 for me to really be interested in Apple again. Yeah, we gotta break under 210. But Apple is in it's in a big bear flag. And I was looking at Apple over the weekend. I think Apple can come down under 200. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I think Apple can come down to like one. Let's see. Right at 200. From anywhere between this 197 and 200 area is where I think Apple can possibly come down to. But of course, you need SPY to come back down as well. So we'll see. But Apple getting under 210, that wouldn't be good. Looks like you can come back down. You first probably run into a little bounce at 206.75 ish. But under that, man, Apple can really start coming down. Apple can really start coming down. All right. Oh, let's see what else we got. Let's see what else we got here. I'll stand for a couple more minutes. I do have to get ready to live trade soon. Anything else that I see? Amazon looks decent. Amazon looks decent. Has to get under 190 though. Under 190.8. Amazon does look pretty decent. So that could be something that I gotta write that down. I done forgot to set my alerts. A lot of times I be talking about stuff and I don't set my alert, man. I end up missing it. I gotta write that down so I don't forget to do it. Always journal, man. Y'all gotta journal too. That's another part about day trading that you gotta realize, especially when you're trying to learn. You have to journal your trades, right? Because if you don't journal, you will never know what you're good at. So when I started learning, I don't even know what my journal book was. So I had a book that I was writing down every trade I was taking in 2019, 2020, and 2021, right? That's the way that I found out that I'm good with chart patterns and the basics, because I've tried everything. I tried to use the Bollinger Bands, Fibonacci. I tried all of that stuff, right? And I'm not saying that stuff is not good, because it is, all right? But that's not what worked for me. This type of stuff is what worked for me, but I wouldn't know that unless I was journaling, right? So if I can find that journal, I'll post it for y'all. You see, I was putting everything in there, man. But Amazon, under 190.8 ish. All right. So that's something that's kind of gonna be on side watch. It's still a little bit away from it though. Anything else before I hop off, man? If you guys enjoyed this, let me know in the comments. And if you joined late or anything like that, I'll leave the replay on my Instagram so you can come back and watch it. Just let me know if you guys enjoyed this, if this was helpful at all, man. If this was helpful at all, let me know in the comments. Yeah, so besides that, I think I'm gonna be chilling for the day, right? So I'm not gonna, even with the Tesla and Baba, I'm not gonna force that either. It just gotta come to me, right? It gotta come to me. Has to come to me. So Baba above 148 point, what was it, 75? And Tesla is still falling, so kind of gotta see what Tesla is. But I hope this was helpful, man. If y'all like this, let me know. Send me a message or something. Let me know if this was helpful. I'm about to finish eating my breakfast. I done stopped eating so I can talk to y'all real quick. About to eat my breakfast and get ready to live trade, man. I got a free Discord if you want to join the free Discord. I also drop a lot of things on YouTube. So this recording is also on YouTube if you want to watch the playback with my screen on it. So you can watch this on YouTube. I appreciate y'all, man. Y'all made some money today. Don't go crazy today, all right? FOMC is tomorrow. Do not do nothing stupid today. If anything, stay on the sidelines. All right. I'd rather you stay on the sidelines than do something stupid today. I'm not gonna lie. All right. So we gotta see what the market does, man. Y'all be safe, trade safe. Hope y'all have a good one.